Before we begin our video, a short note. We'll be glad if you like, comment, and share our content. We are the largest left-wing civic association in Slovakia, and we want to keep growing. New videos are published Fridays. If you like what we do, you can support us financially and become our members. More information is available on our website, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Do you even realize that democracy is human nature? What is truly natural to us? People intuitively long to make decisions about their own lives. Democracy is not some artificial invention of modern political scientists, but a deep sense of justice we carry within us. When we feel we can take part in decision-making, we experience fulfillment and safety. When someone takes our voice away, we feel frustration and defiance. This feeling did not arise yesterday. It is written into our evolutionary history, roots in the distant past. About 6 million years ago, our ancestors in Africa split from our common ancestor with chimpanzees. Since then, humans have evolved in the environment of small groups. Human evolution is not just biology, it is also social evolution. For millions of years, we developed ways to live together, to resolve conflicts, and to share resources. And all of this in settings where everyone knew everyone else. Life in bands. Hunter-gatherer bands usually had between 20 and 150 members. Anthropologists speak of the so-called Dunbar's number, the limit of people we can remember and maintain relationships with. If someone was aggressive or manipulative, they could not hide. The group knew them, exposed them, and, if necessary, ridiculed or expelled them. Power pathologies such as narcissism, psychopathy, or Machiavellianism had little room here. Everyone had a voice, because collective decision-making was a necessity for survival. We must realize that lifelong chiefs in such societies hardly existed. Hierarchies were almost non-existent. There were only stronger or weaker friendships. Dominant individuals were not the most violent males, as many people mistakenly believe today, because such men could easily be removed by two others with the consent of the group. Those who were dominant were the ones who were liked, those who helped others, those who were the kindest. Humans are kind by nature. This seems paradoxical only to those who have believed the manipulations of capitalism. In reality, the superability of the human species is not competition. Our superability is cooperation, and we cooperate best with people we like. This is also a relatively new finding of anthropology. Our social evolution directly shaped our biological evolution. As humans became kinder, their facial features softened. We replaced animal-like muzzles and heavy brows with gentle facial traits. That is also why we find kind people more attractive than hostile ones, why a kind human face is seen as beautiful, democracy as a natural state. When we speak of democracy today, we often see it as a political system of the last 2 centuries. The truth is different. Democracy is older than states, older than cities, older than civilization. It is millions of years old because it was part of life in hunter-gatherer communities. It was neither perfect nor romantic, but it was natural. Decisions were made collectively, power was shared, and extreme dominance was suppressed. Turning point: agriculture and villages. About 10,000 years ago came a huge turning point. Agriculture appeared. People began to live permanently in one place, cultivate crops, and raise animals. Populations grew. From small bands arose villages with several thousand inhabitants. Archaeological sites like Jericho or Çatalhöyük prove that people were already building complex settlements. And this meant they suddenly lived in environments where it was no longer possible to know everyone personally. The birth of hierarchies. The anonymity of larger societies opened space for new types of personalities. Where reputation and personal ties were no longer enough for control, manipulators, narcissists, and psychopaths could gain influence. The first elites appeared, the first monumental buildings, the first signs of inequality in graves. From egalitarian communities, hierarchies were born. and with them began 10,000 years in which we have lived continuously in autocracies, with democracy reduced to an empty word. It became just an ideal, never truly reached for 10,000 years. A skewed balance of time. Compare this: 6 million years of evolution in small democratic communities versus only 10,000 years of hierarchies and autocracy. That is less than 1% of the time. Even if we look only at our own branch, Homo sapiens, which has existed for about 300,000 years, it is still only 3%. For the overwhelming majority of history, we lived in direct democracies, and only for a tiny fraction of time have we suffered under power hierarchies, the nightmare of history. From this perspective, our civilization is a peculiar exception. The last 10,000 years can be seen as a nightmare from which we are trying to awaken. Hierarchies and autocracies are not our nature. They are a historical deviation. That is why the desire for freedom, equality, and fraternity still burns within us. That is why revolutions and democratic movements arise again and again. They are a return to our primal essence. Conservatism and the left, a paradox. Here comes an interesting irony. True conservatives, who want to return to the past, should support democracy, because humanity's past was democratic. And true Democrats and socialists, who want to move forward and create new things, are in fact also going back to the vast majority of our history, to natural equality. If these two directions met, they could form a strong alliance, a return to human nature, a return to democracy. Conclusion: awakening. Our challenge today is clear. After 10,000 years of hierarchies, we face the question of whether we want to continue violating our nature or return to who we are. Democracy is not a utopia. It is a return home. It is an awakening from a nightmare that has lasted far too long. If we want to live as humans, and not as subjects, we must once again turn to what has accompanied us for millions of years: cooperation, equality, and collective decision-making about our destiny. Before we end our video, a short note. We'll be glad if you like, comment, and share our content. We are the largest left-wing civic association in Slovakia, and we want to keep growing. New videos are published Fridays. If you like what we do, you can support us financially and become our members. More information is available on our website. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.